My name is Lon Strickler. I've been a paranormal and 14 investigator for almost 50 years now. For the most part, they're anywhere from 5.5 to 7 foot. They do vary. Dark in color. Sometimes people say they look like they've got some type of fur on them. Many other times they say it's shiny, looking like it's wet or like has an exoskeleton on it. Very thin legs, very thin arms. The wings themselves have been gargoyle or bat-like shaped wings, running anywhere from 12 to 15 foot total span. So they've got the red eyes, which they're able to levitate without using any type of the wings. Many times people see them flying without using the wings, not flapping the wing. Yeah, we're sticking with about 250-mile radius of Chicago. So these sightings they have gone as far north as Milwaukee, as far south as Bloomington, Illinois, and down into Indianapolis in Indiana. I mean, we had a couple down on Lakeshore Drive who literally, there's an older couple, literally saw this thing fly over them. It flew up about 100 feet, turned back and looked at them, started flying back, recognizing that they were there. Yeah, we've had a few of those. I remember people believe that it specifically saw them and that it wanted them to see it. And in fact, some of them just wish they had never seen it. It's an enigma, and we just continue to do what we can as far as gathering the anecdotal evidence. We've had very little physical evidence or photographs or discernible type of photographs because of being so quick. By the time somebody sees this thing, decides they're going to take their phone out and focus, this thing's gone. That's the biggest drawback. I get a lot of criticism about not having any photographic evidence, but people just don't realize, when people go through shock and see something that they're not familiar with, they react in certain ways that they're not quick enough to react to take a photograph. I think the whole phenomena is probably some type of guardian or sentinel that's been called out by either a strong energy or someone trying to manifest. We've had several sightings in Chicago where people said they literally saw this thing manifest like it came through an invisible door, and vice versa, leaving into an invisible doorway. In fact, I had one sighting, two older ladies who were walking about 2 blocks south of Wrigley Field. It saw this thing at the intersection just come through, like it, just came out of nothing. I think it's an interdimensional being. I think it's something that can travel or go through a gateway and remain corporeal as they're doing it. And in fact, Tobias and another gentleman had done a book recently about the Mothman in general, so you may want to ask him.
Everybody here, like literally everybody in this room, knows somebody who has experienced the paranormal, who has experienced an event that they cannot explain. And that means something, And what it means, I think, is very personal, but it's not something that we should ignore. And so I don't. So my name is Tobias Wayland, and I've been investigating the paranormal for going on 18 years. And so overall, the effect of the internet is certainly to popularize phenomena such as Mothman, but it's also, unfortunately, one of the greatest obstacles we have to disseminating what would even be close to the truth regarding it. And that's too bad. I would describe the behavior as more aggressive, at least as it's reported, because one of the, I think, fundamental qualities of a Mothman encounter is an extreme level of fear, like bordering on itself paranormal, like just a weird amount of fear, like the kind of fear where you look at it later and you go, how could that have happened? Why was I so afraid in that moment? It's the kind of fear that makes people afraid to go outside by themselves for like weeks afterward, So that doesn't strike me as particularly friendly or even docile, even if it does represent nothing so harmful as, say, a self-defense technique or something reflecting its territoriality or something. Like, it's still not, it's not nice, right?
As well, that people were affected after,
So what I think Mothman isn't is a hoax, at least not in every case, or a hallucination, also not in every case. Nor do I think that misidentifications can explain every single instance. And so after that, what are we left with, right? The only thing I can say with any certainty is that people are experiencing something that they can't explain. What that is, what it represents, might be unique to the individual, and furthermore, beyond that, I can't really say much, other than to say that I don't know, which is a phrase that is often underused in this field, and I would love to see become more popular.